Greetings. This is episode 6 of my series on how to run a sub 30 hour 100 miler. So thanks for sticking with it. Hopefully you are getting some good information. So today we're going to focus on the importance of sticking to your plan, and what I call run your own race. And that sounds very simplistic, but it's very important. A lot of the blogs out there talk about how your plan goes out of the window, by mile 30, mile 40. Not all, but many do. And there's good reason why that does happen. But again, what I'm hopefully going to impress on you is that doesn't need to happen. Stay with your plan. Your plan should be based on a real life experience during training, doing at least a 62 miler, 100 kilometer race, even if it's in training and not in a formal race, and get those times and project off those times a realistic approach to your plan. Now, realistic for the 62 is different than realistic for the 100. So back your times off slightly from that 62 because you obviously have another 38 miles to go. But that's a good way to stay with your plan, is to have a realistic projection of the pace that you have to run and walk, of course, as we discussed in the last episode. So anyway, here's a few traps that you should be aware of. Trap number 1, and this is probably the biggest one of the lot, and most people get caught up in this, the veterans don't, and that is the euphoria at the start. When that gun goes off, everybody's excited, the adrenaline's pumping, everybody has been waiting for this moment for almost a year, and all that training is going to pay off, and you feel great. The adrenaline's pumping, and you go out with that middle pack, or maybe just ahead of the middle pack, because you don't want to get bottlenecked down the way. Don't do it. You will pay later on. A lot of that wisdom from the veterans says go out really slow, even if you are at the back of the pack, even if you are walking at first. Don't get caught up in that excitement. It will come back to haunt you in the latter parts of the race. Trap number 2. If you get into a situation as you are heading out, especially on trails, where it's really narrow, and usually this happens near the beginning of the race, and the pack is still going through, and it's single file, and you get caught up in a situation where you don't feel like you have a choice but to stay at that pace. Step aside, do it safely, don't block anybody, and wait for that faster pack to go through, and find a group that you feel like your pace is more kin to. And that's important. It sounds very simple, but it'll save you later on, especially on trail races. Trap number 3 has to do with nighttime running. And you get out there, it feels like people are disappearing. You're the only one running, and only a few, and you come across someone who is running, close to your pace, but a little bit faster than you might be comfortable with otherwise. Be careful with that. Maybe run a mile or 2 with them. If they are a little faster than you want to be, it is tempting because you're lonely, and it just feels so comforting. But don't fall in that trap. Back off from that. If the person doesn't back off their pace with you, let them go. Be gracious about it, and then find someone else who can pace you. Hopefully you have your own pacer. And then trap number 4. you really have to be careful of too much stoppage time. Stoppage time creates a situation where you start to chase your pace time. So you fall, 20 minutes, 40 minutes behind, and you feel like you have a burst of energy at some point, and you want to push it to catch up. Don't do it. It'll come back to you. The averages will work out as long as you're working your plan, and you'll be happy at the end. Even if you are 20 minutes off your pace, hopefully you have a cushion built in for your overall time, and it's not going to be a big deal. But chasing your pace is not a good idea. Your body's trying to tell you something. Listen to it. That's it for the Run Your Race episode. Simple, run your race. Don't run someone else's race. You didn't train the way they train. You don't have goals that they have. And more than likely, if they're faster than you, there's a good chance they're not going to make it in the end. We hope they do, but the data tells us that they're more likely not to finish. Anyway, the Run Your Race. I'll see you out there. Be sure to subscribe and follow episodes 7 through 12 upcoming.